Today I wanted to go ahead and start my new series on financial planning considerations for new parents. So I want to start with the most obvious and probably the most pressing one, and that's cash flow. So I think everybody is well aware that new babies change your cash flow situation pretty drastically when they arrive. You've got food once they're old enough to eat food, but earlier you've got diapers and clothes and new clothes because one sets got ruined, and eventually daycare if both spouses have to work like we do. So lots of considerations. So what do you do to make sure that your financial plan can adapt to this new thing? So step one is going to be to reanalyze your cash flow situation. So my wife and I sat down with a firm understanding of how much we were bringing home each month and each pay period, and looked at what we were spending money on a monthly basis to help to, number one, figure out what are actually the necessities. And necessities don't have to just be food. They can be small things that bring you joy even once a child is here. But it was also, and more importantly, to help us figure out what we were spending money on, and to help you figure out what you're spending money on that you can begin to shrink or maybe cut out totally. So that's step one, and that flows nicely into step two. Step two is going to be to artificially shrink your cash flow to essentially feel like what it would feel like to have a baby. So, and you want to do this for several months leading up to the baby's birth, and if you both have to go back to work, that date as well, when you have to start paying for childcare and things like that. And the reason you want to do this is for twofold. So number one, it's going to make sure that the stuff that you considered necessities when you went back over your cash flow are able to be afforded once your child is here. That's the biggest thing. Number two, it's actually going to let you build up a really nice savings base, especially if you start real early in this process, because you'll have a runway of up to 9 months where you are saving a huge chunk of your income getting ready for the baby. So notice, I want to point out a couple things that I didn't say to get rid of completely. So number one, don't stop contributing to retirement unless it is absolutely necessary. Can you dial it back? Sure, but try and make sure you're getting the match in your 401k still. Because as much as you want to give your baby the best life, in order to do that, you need to feel like you have some financial security as well. Number two, don't completely drop all of the things that make you happy in life. There are definitely things that can be considered necessities. Nice coffee once a week. Maybe a sweet treat like cookies or something like that once a month. Little things like that bring you happiness are also important, because your happiness is going to help translate that to your child. So to recap, step one is to reanalyze your budget and reanalyze your cash flow. Step two of this process is going to be to artificially restrict that cash flow as though your baby is already here.